Hi, everyone. I'm Adam. Welcome to TNM Marco Polo, the evolution of the Northern Miners Mines Handbook. I'm here with Katja today to talk about how TNM Marco Polo is going to take all the amazing data that's been behind Mines Handbook over the past 80 years and make it even more powerful and easy to use through the TNM Marco Polo web-based platform.
Hi, Adam. I'll introduce myself a little bit before I get into TNM Marco Polo. I am in charge of mining data for the Northern Miner Group, and I'm a geologist by background. I have a passion for data, and I'm really excited that we've used our global database to feed the Northern Miners Mines Handbook product. But because we've expanded it from a North American focus to a global focus, we are rebranding it as TNM Marco Polo. We have introduced companies from the Australian Stock Exchange and also from the London Stock Exchange, which is quite a bit more than what we had just on the North American exchanges. And so we now offer our customers around 2,600 companies that they can search for and find all the information they need on the properties. Maybe I can show you what we have.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's start with that company data point. You mentioned there was 2,600 global mining companies listed. I'm thinking about all the different use cases that our users might have for the product. And I'm wondering, how could somebody use this data to uncover new accounts in their sales territory?
Yeah, that is a good question. So what we have is the ability to very, very quickly, like click of a button, focus in on specific types of companies. For example, if a client is just interested in explorers, you can click on explorers and then see the results and narrows things down quite significantly. If the customer is only looking for explorers on the ASX, again, click of a button and we can add that. And we have 608 explorers listed on the ASX. The next thing that's quite nice is from here, you can choose any one of these companies and see what their properties are. Not only what their properties are, but get a little bit more background on the company itself. There's direct links to the websites, where we have it, an email, and then we can see exactly what they are working on.
Okay, so now that I've found a company that I'm really interested in, how can I go about saving it and then making sure I'm always kept up to date on any new changes if the company announces, a new program or they do an acquisition of some new land? How can I make sure I don't miss out on that?
So we have an add to portfolio button at the top of every company profile page or property profile page. And just by clicking that, you can add it to your portfolio so that next time you come back into TNM Marco Polo, you can just go to my portfolio and you'll have that company saved right there. It's also really easy to kind of manage your portfolio. I have a couple of saved properties here, and if I'm starting something different and I'm not really interested in these anymore because I'm not interested in lithium, I can just delete those and kind of clean up my list again. Whenever you come back to TNM Marco Polo, you can then go to your portfolio, click on the company profile page, and see if there's anything new that we have on the company. We have the latest 5 news releases. Real quick, you click on it, and there you've got your news release if you want to find out more. The other nice thing with our company data is that we have all the executives and directors as well. So you can quickly inform yourself about who's who within that company. Any other questions?
Yeah, so I actually noticed on that company page that it lists the properties that that company owns. Is that correct?
That is correct. And what you can do is you can open up the property, and we have a whole lot of information that you'll be able to get. Um, Firstly, what the commodities are, obviously, what the development status is, who the owners are, and that can go beyond the publicly listed company. And then the latest reserves resources, if it's an operating mine, the latest production numbers, and again, any specific news releases to that property.
You mentioned lithium before. Does the TNM Marco Polo platform allow people to go in and create a list of all the lithium properties in a specific region? I'm just trying to think how somebody who's looking to understand, where are all the different properties in, say, South America, how can they go in and create that list of properties and be able to target those based on their own product and service offerings?
Yeah, that is a very good question. And I've toggled over to the property side of TNM Marco Polo. This is really where the huge value is. It's searching for specific types of properties. We can look for lithium through the commodity exposure, click on it. We can look at the country and we can say, well, let's look at Argentina, and we can search up the results. I'm looking for anything lithium related. If I wanted to look for something more specific on the dev status, because sometimes you're only looking at feasibility stage projects for business development, you can apply those filters as well. It's now easy from this list to further go into each property, and if it is something that looks interesting, you can add it to your portfolio. I'm actually going to go to feasibility study projects and see what shows up in South America. We have this one here, and if I click on it, sorry, pre-feasibility, I think I said feasibility study. Again, we can find out a little bit about that property, add it to the portfolio. If you go to my portfolio, it's saved there. Normally what happens when you're doing business development is you're trying to prioritize shortlist from a huge set of properties. So I would kind of determine the country, the status, the development status, and then you can work through each property, and if it's of interest to you, you just tag it under my portfolio. I'm going to look at producing mines, lithium mines in Argentina, and here we have, two companies, and maybe you've decided actually this one interests me. You can go to it. It's a producing asset. There's one company. You can very quickly then open up to find out more about that company. You can quickly see from kind of where they're at, what their stock are like, how big they are, and then you decide whether or not this is a company that's of interest to you.
Wow, that's great. So expanding on the level of detail that's contained in that property profile, I've been to a lot of different trade shows and conferences, and one of the biggest things I always hear from other salespeople, business development managers, sales leaders, is they have a hard time finding out who's on site that they can reach out to directly to contact, as opposed to having to, do research and hope that somebody's on site. So, how can TNM Marco Polo help our users find site level contact information?
Yeah, that data set is a very challenging one to maintain. So our focus is on the producing mines, and let's assume you're looking. So if you're looking for personnel data, you need to have a mine that's in production. Let's assume that we're looking at nickel mines in Canada, just to get a smaller subset, and it really is as easy as a couple of clicks, and then you can get your short list. Here we have the 6 nickel mines in Canada. Let's take a look at Voisey's Bay, for example. If we open up the profile page of Voisey's Bay, you'll get some information on the key facts, what kind of operation it is, who the owners are, and then you can get the latest reserves, resources, and production. And if you scroll down, we have a section called personnel. Our team has taken the time to go to LinkedIn and find out who's who at Voisey's Bay and added it to the database. They look for specific types of people, normally manager level, but it can also go a little bit For example, here we've got the environmental coordinator. And then you just click on the link and it'll take you to their LinkedIn profile. The reason why we do that is that, as everyone knows, people are on the move constantly in mining. And so if that person has, by chance, just left Voisey's Bay, and we haven't gone back to double check because we're looking at many mines globally, at least the LinkedIn profile will tell you where that person is, and that might be another opportunity for you.
Okay, that's great, Katja. If you're interested in learning more about TNM Marco Polo or are ready to sign up and begin leveraging its thousands of data points, head over to marcopolo.tnm.global now.